Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Book name Book of Healing, authored by Dr. Professor Allama Nasiruddin Nasir Hunzai. Chapter name is Standard of Health on page 95. Point number 1. There is a standard to test everything, or in other words, there is a fixed meter, measure or weight to weigh and measure things. In some modern machines, there are many meters to check their inner condition, whether there is any increase or decrease, or whether the machine is functioning as desired or not. Similarly, in the world of Islam, the pure life, the sacred sunnat, and the ideal character of the Holy Prophet is made such an all-inclusive standard, or the universal of universals, in whose light the people of insight can not only diagnose inner sickness and health, but also attain the treasure of knowledge and recognition. A diagram of his perfect health in every respect is presented here as a model. There is a diagram of the excellent model given below. Point number 2. In connection with the creation and completion of the human existence, the body is created first, then the vegetative soul, animal soul, human soul, and ethics respectively. Then comes into being his ideology, by which is meant belief, school of thought, in bracket mazhab, and religion. Then the soul of faith, in bracket ruhul iman, and finally intellect, by which is meant an intellect which recognizes God. Point number 2. In connection with the creation and completion of the human existence, the body is created first, then the vegetative soul, animal soul, human soul, and ethics respectively. Then comes into being his ideology, by which is meant belief, school of thought, in brackets, bracket, mazhab, bracket close, and religion. Then the soul of faith, bracket, ruhul iman, bracket close. And finally, intellect, by which is meant an intellect which recognizes God. Point number 3. The above mentioned order of creation is absolutely correct with respect to physical creation. However, with respect to excellence, the rank of intellect comes first, then the soul of faith, then ideology, namely belief, then ethics, and the fifth is the body, and accordingly is the intellectual health, spiritual health, ideological health, ethical health, and physical health. Point number 4. The path of the esteemed Sufi is quite logical, that first, the successful Salik, bracket, one who walks on the spiritual path, bracket close, annihilates himself in his Sheikh, bracket, Murshid / Imam, bracket close, then in the Holy Prophet, and finally in God. When this is the case, we have to examine the diagram of the excellent model of the Prophet more carefully, for it is possible for a salik on the spiritual path, in bracket suluk, to pass through annihilation in the Sheikh, fana fil Sheikh, annihilation in the Prophet, which is fana fil Rasul, and annihilation in God, that is fana fillah. Then inevitably the Sheikh himself has already been annihilated in the Prophet and God. Because without this, the concept of annihilation becomes meaningless. From this point, it becomes clear that in this diagram, after the Prophet is mentioned the Sheikh or the perfect man, also the Salik. Point number 5. The pure body of Holy Prophet is referred to in the verse 33 by 33. Point number 5. The pure body of the Holy Prophet is referred to in the verse 33/33. This purity is both external and internal, in which the perfect men are with the Prophet. Further, the best manners, khuluqin azim, that is, an exalted standard of character, reference 68/4, are also a model for the people. We must say without any hesitation that these manners or habits are those of God, which the Prophet, the mercy of the world, had adopted. Therefore, it is said, Taklaku bi ikhlaqillah, adopt the manners of God. Perfect faith, in brackets, imani kamil, implies that belief and ideology are common, but perfect faith is special. The satisfied soul is the developed form of the soul. Quranic reference 89/28. The Quranic name of the sound intellect is the sound heart. Quranic reference 26/89 and 37/84. Point number 6. The wise Quran has called all inner diseases the diseases of the heart or intellectual diseases. Quranic reference 2/10. For if the intellect falls sick, then the soul, ideology, ethics, and body all automatically fall sick. The reason for this is that intellectual sickness is nothing but ignorance, whose influence causes many physical and spiritual diseases. Contrary to this, if the intellect is sound and healthy, the health of other things is possible. It is not strange for the wise people that vegetables depend on the vegetative soul, animals on the animal soul, and the edifice of the human existence is founded on the basis of intellect. Point number 7. Those who have attained the extremely exalted rank of annihilation in the Prophet and annihilation in God are called the perfect men. Such divinely guided sheikhs or murshids have become like the center or the heart of the universe. Study the diagram on the previous page and its explanation carefully. Point number 8. In my opinion, this diagram can prove extremely useful in the understanding and the teaching of realities and recognitions. In the light of Quranic allusions and spiritual knowledge, it has been explained in this diagram that the perfect man, in fact, is like the heart and mind of the external world. That is, he is the center of the universe as well as the circumferential circle of it. In the upper part of these 7 circles, you can see a small circle. What is this? This is the universal mind of the perfect man. It is also the mind of the universe or the cosmic mind. It is also called Azal and Abd, which in fact is the same place. It is also the higher world and the world of particles. It is also the place of ascent of certitude, Miraj-e Yaqeen, and the fountainhead of spiritual science. It is the non-subtle and non-temporal world. Here is found the knowledge and recognition of the entire universe, for it is the mind of the universe. It has many more names, but a few only are mentioned as examples. Point number 9. A and D is the symbol of ascent and descent. Point number 9, A to D, is the symbol of ascent and descent and the link between the heart and mind. For mind is the heaven of the personal world and heart its earth. And it is the natural link and order of heaven and earth that some things descend and some other ascend. Quranic reference 34/2. So that the law of ascending of prayer from below and the descending of mercy from the above may last and continue forever. This is the explanation of the perpetual ascent and descent. Note also the law of inclusion and exclusion, that the entire universe and all things in it enter the blessed personality of the perfect man and become confined in him. Note also the law of inclusion and exclusion, that the entire universe and all things in it enter the blessed personality of the perfect man and become confined in him, and from here they also spread throughout the universe. Quranic reference 57/4. In point number 7, you can see the position of the personal world in the diagram of the universe. The universe, which revolves on the supreme circle of annihilation, in bracket, fana, and survival, baka, in many ways continues to pass through the wisdom-filled personality of the perfect man. Quranic reference 21/33. Point number 10, with respect to special and bodily position, the perfect man is not the center and the heart and the mind of the universe. Rather, he has his position due to his being the fountainhead of intellect and soul. For the honor and preference which God has given to the children of Adam over other creatures is based on the reality of this intellect and soul, in which, after the Holy Prophet, the perfect man is the first and foremost among others. For it is in his personality that the recognition can be attained of what and how the superiority of the children of Adam is over other creatures. 17/70. Point number 11. The rank of perfection of humanity preceded others and will outlive others. Therefore, in the diagram, the perfect man is both the seventh and the first. Now, it should be asked why there is a ladder in the diagram. It should be remembered that the heaven is both above and below. Thus, this is the ladder of ascent, at the first step of which are the spheres, at the second the elements, at the third the minerals, at the fourth the vegetables, at the fifth the animals, at the sixth the world of humanity, and then is the perfect man, who has climbed the ladder and reached the highest point of ascent and honor, where he has become the standard of health and invites others to the exalted place. 19th April 1986. Shukran lillah walhamdulillah, shukran lillah walhamdulillah.